the hidden prince of Amuoka. My name is Oyoyo. Once upon a time, in the great Amuoka community, there was a king named Obi. He was a man of peace, wisdom, and kindness who ruled his people for 50 long years. His hands never shed innocent blood, and his voice always carried justice. People said his heart was larger than the land itself. Children ran to him for sweets, old women sang his praises, and even the birds seemed to dance when he walked past. He was loved by all, and no one ever thought sorrow could enter Amuoka while he lived. But as the river never stays calm forever, so did life in Amuoka change. King Obi had an heir, a boy named Yuzo. From birth, Yuzo carried fire in his eyes and pride in his walk. Unlike his father, he had no patience, no kindness, and no love for people. His mother, Queen Ada, protected him and filled his ears with whispers, "You are the only heir. The land belongs to you. No one should stand before you." These whispers grew like weeds in Yuzo's heart until he became proud, selfish, and cruel. When the king finally grew old and his light dimmed, the whole community gathered to cry. Drums rolled, horns blew, and people wailed in sorrow as Obi's soul joined the ancestors. At only 18, Prince Yuzo became king. But the moment he sat on the throne, darkness fell upon Amuoka. He beat villagers without reason, seized their farmlands, and slaughtered their goats for his feasts. Worse, he commanded maidens to come into his palace against their will. Fear became the new language of the people. For 20 years, the cries of Amuoka rose to the sky. Mothers cursed their wombs for birthing daughters. Fathers hid their sons, and farmers abandoned their fields. They prayed to Amadioha, their great god of justice, but silence was all they received. Children grew into men, and men became old with tears in their eyes, waiting for an answer that never came. People whispered, "Has the god abandoned us?" Yet still they kept praying, because hope is the last thing a dying man lets go of. If you have watched till this time, it means this video interests you. Please subscribe to our channel, like, and turn on the notification bell for more. We appreciate your presence. Then one night, after 20 long years, a strange wind blew through the sacred forest. The shrine of Amadioha shook, and the priestess screamed in a trance. Her eyes turned white as she shouted, "The king had another son. A hidden son, born before Queen Ada, born of another woman in another land. He is alive, far away, humble, wise, and the true heir of Amuoka. Find him, bring him back, for he alone shall heal the land." The villagers in a shock, but happy, hope returned like rain after drought. The people whispered the name of the hidden son, Keen. He was born 10 years before Yuzo, when the great King Obi was still a young man. His mother, Neka, came from another community, but she was sent away before Obi married Queen Ada. Keen was raised in secret, then later sent to America for studies. Unlike Yuzo, Keen grew humble, kind, and wise. He cared for the poor, respected the weak, and had a heart like his father's. The villagers cried, "Bring Keen home." But when Yuzo and Queen Ada heard of this prophecy, their hearts turned blacker than coal. Ada screamed, "No one will take my son's throne. We must destroy this Keen before he steps foot in Amuoka." Yuzo agreed with a cruel laugh. He began to plan his brother's death, sharpening his sword with his own hands. "If he comes," Yuzo whispered, "he will not see the sunrise." The palace walls hid their evil, but even stones seemed to tremble with fear. When the message of the prophecy reached America, Keen was teaching little children how to read in a community center. A messenger from Amuoka arrived breathless, knelt before him and cried, "Prince, your people are suffering. Your father, King Obi, left you a throne. Your brother Yuzo has turned it into fire. The god has spoken. Come home. Save us." Keen's heart trembled. He had never thought of himself as a prince, only as a servant of people. Yet, he knew he could not turn his back. Keen packed his few clothes, his books, and a small Bible. Before leaving, he told the children, "Never forget kindness. Kindness builds nations more than gold." They hugged him, tears in their eyes. On the plane, Keen stared out the window, whispering, "Father, I never knew you. But if you left me this duty, let me not fail." The stars above the clouds twinkled, as though the ancestors were watching. When he arrived in Umuaka, the villagers gathered in thousands. Old men beat drums, women ululated, and children ran around chanting, "King, King, our prince has come." Tears rolled down wrinkled cheeks as they touched his hands. Unlike Yuzo, who rode horses with whips, King walked barefoot into the crowd, hugging people, bowing to elders and smiling at children. For the first time in decades, laughter returned to Umuaka. If you have watched till this time, it means this video interests you. Please subscribe to our channel, like and turn on the notification bell for more. We appreciate your presence. But inside the palace, Yuzo boiled with anger. He threw his cup of palm wine to the ground, shouting, "How dare they cheer him? This throne is mine." Queen Ada tried to calm him, saying, "Be patient, my son. Let us welcome him, but strike when the time is right." That night, Yuzo prepared poison yam porridge, inviting Keen for a brother's feast. His smile was sweet, but his heart was a knife. Keen sat at the feast, grateful for his brother's welcome. Yuzo urged him, "Eat, my brother. Taste the sweetness of Umuaka." But Keen, feeling his spirit stir, replied, "My stomach is full. Let the servant eat this portion." He handed the bowl to Obioma, the loyal servant. The next morning, Obioma was found dead in his chamber, foam at his mouth. The palace wept, but Keen knew the truth. His brother had tried to kill him. Yuzo's fury grew hotter. He gathered 5 assassins, Oak, Zik, Emu, Tobe, and Ifa. In a secret meeting, he promised them gold, land, and women if they killed Keen. The assassins sharpened arrows, loaded muskets, and swore an oath. Queen Ada watched with fear in her eyes, but she could not stop her son. "Strike tonight," Yuzo hissed. "Let him die before he wears my crown." That night, Keen prepared to leave the palace for a visit to the shrine. He prayed softly, "God, if you brought me here, protect me." As he walked towards his carriage, arrows flew from the shadows. But the assassins missed their target. One arrow struck Queen Ada, who had come to secretly warn her son. She screamed and fell to the ground. Blood stained her royal cloth. The assassins panicked, thinking the gods had cursed them. They stole the royal SUV and fled into the forest. The villagers found Queen Ada lifeless on the palace floor. Yuzo roared like a wounded lion, tearing his clothes, but deep inside, he blamed Keen. At the burial, drums beat slowly, women wailed, and the whole land mourned. Yet whispers rose. The gods have judged her for protecting evil. But Yuzo was not done. His heart burned like firewood. He told himself, "If poison and assassins fail, I will create an accident." He bribed driver to tamper with Keen's carriage. But on the day of travel, Keen prayed long and hard. His spirit told him to wait. That same day, Yuzo also set out on a secret journey. On the road, the trap meant for Keen caught Yuzo. His carriage overturned, wheels flew off, and fire swallowed it. The wicked prince died instantly. When the news spread, the villagers gasped. Some cried for the fallen prince, but many whispered, "The gods have spoken. Justice has come." Keen bowed his head, tears in his eyes. "He was still my brother," he said softly. But deep inside, he knew the land was free at last. The skies cleared, and for the first time in decades, the sun shone warmly over Umuaka without sorrow. If you have watched till this time, it means this video interests you. Please subscribe to our channel, like, and turn on the notification bell for more. We appreciate your presence. Soon after, the Council of Elders gathered at the sacred square. They washed Keen's feet in holy water, placed the golden crown upon his head, and shouted, "Long live King Keen, ruler of Umuaka." Drums shook the earth. Dancers leaped into the air, and the people shouted until their voices broke. From that day, peace returned to the land. As king, Keen restored farmlands, freed maidens, and rebuilt homes. He decreed, "No man shall take another's land, no maiden shall be forced, and no hand shall spill innocent blood again." Villagers returned to their farms, children returned to laughter, and old men sat under trees telling stories. Umuaka, once a land of tears, became a land of joy. But the greatest secret came years later. Inside the palace library, Keen found a hidden box left by his father Obi. Inside were letters written in Obi's hand. One letter read, "My son, I knew the greed of Ada and Yuzo. That is why I sent you away, to grow in humility, so that when you return, you will save this land. Never rule with fear, rule with love. That is the true crown." Keen wept as he read. He realized his father had always planned for this moment. The hidden sun, the long years abroad, the prophecy, it was not an accident. It was destiny. Standing tall, he whispered, "Father, I will not fail you. I will not fail Amuoka." From that night, he ruled with wisdom that no sword could break. I, Oyoyo, who tell you this story, was a little girl when all these things happened. I saw the tears of my mother when Yuzo beat my father. I saw the joy on her face when Keen freed us. I grew up in Amuoka, and I know the scars we carried. That is why I tell you this tale, not from books, but from my own eyes. Many years passed, and King Keen grew older, but his name lived like fire in the hearts of the people. Mothers named their sons after him, saying, "Be like Keen, not like Yuzo." His story spread to other lands, teaching rulers that a throne is not a seat of pride, but a seat of service. And so, children of Amuoka, remember this lesson. A crown without kindness is only a chain of iron, but a crown with love is a tree of life. Power may last for a season, but goodness lasts forever. Even when evil seems strong, truth will always rise like the morning sun. If you have watched till this time, it means this video interests you. Please subscribe to our channel, like and turn on the notification bell for more. We appreciate your presence. Yuzo's story became a warning told by elders at night. They would say, "Do not let pride eat your soul, for it will eat your life as it ate Yuzo." And when children asked, "But what about Keen?" the elders would smile and say, "Keen was the son who listened to love." That is why his name still breathes. Sometimes, I still walk by the palace walls. The echoes of drums and cries of old days rise in my ears. But then I hear laughter, children playing, women singing, and I know that peace is stronger than pain. Amuoka healed because one man chose kindness over cruelty. When my own son grew up, I told him, "Remember the story of Yuzo and Keen. Life will test you with pride, anger, and greed. But choose kindness and you will always win." My son nodded, and I saw in his eyes the reflection of King Keen's wisdom. Stories live not in books, but in hearts. The hidden secret of life is this. Sometimes, what seems like delay is protection. Keen was hidden for years, not because he was forgotten, but because he was being prepared. If he had grown in the palace, pride may have ruined him. But growing among strangers, he learned humility. Destiny waits for the right time. And so, Amuoka became a land where people from other villages came to learn wisdom. They saw how a kingdom once drowned in fear could rise again with love. They carried the story back to their own lands so that many more would learn the lesson. Evil may roar like thunder, but good is the steady rain that keeps the earth alive. Now, as I end this story, I tell you, never forget the tale of the two princes. One wore a crown of fear, and it destroyed him. The other wore a crown of love, and it saved a nation. I, Oyoyo, was there. I saw it with my own eyes, and I pass it on to you, so that when your time comes, you too will choose kindness over cruelty. For that is the true throne of every heart. True power is not in the crown on your head, but in the kindness in your heart. Pride and cruelty may give you fear over people, but love and humility give you their loyalty forever. This ties directly to how Yuzo ruled with fear and lost everything, while Keen ruled with kindness and gained everything. If you learned something from this story, comment 100% on the comment section. Join our folktale story community. Subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notification bell for more. Like, share with friends and family. See you on our next video.